Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wingcat Sports, and it's NFC North breakdown a little bit late in the week. Kind of just going to brush over most of the games that happened and kind of do more of a preview for this week. But Lions, Rams last week. Lions lost to the Rams, stay in third in the division. Not really a great spot for them if you're looking at playoffs. But hey, it is what it is. We keep moving forward. But again, not the worst game from the Lions. The defense just needs to figure out with the Legion of whom what we're exactly going to be doing. Moving on, Bears beat the Browns 31-3. Shouldn't have been a problem for them. They go back into first in the NFC North without any issue. Again, they're not playing bad. They're playing pretty good right now. Honestly, again, like I've said for the past few weeks, I expect them to be the team that is winning the NFC North. And again, hopefully, I wouldn't even care if we become like the NFC East and a different team wins it every single year, because that just shows more competitiveness within the division than anything. But again, they took care of business. They're now 10-4. Caleb Williams did not have the worst day, if I could get to it. 17 for 28, 242 yards, 2 TDs, and then they ran for a total of 142 yards. Again, not the worst day for the Bears. They played pretty well defensively. They did pretty well too, getting 5 sacks on Shrew Sanders. Moving on down the line of games I can see here. Broncos ended up being the Packers, which is what we wanted as Lions fans, anyways. However, this can happen for us to make the playoffs. We want it to happen. And Broncos are a good team, so it's not like the Packers aren't a good team. Broncos are a really good team this year. I believe they're number one in the AFC currently. Jordan Love was 24 for 40, 1 TD, 2 interceptions with 276 yards, and they ran for 115. So it wasn't even like the offense wasn't fully moving. There was the 2 interceptions. He got sacked 3 times. The defense, losing Micah Parsons this week, got no sacks on Bo Nix, and I think that might hurt them going forward without Parsons on their team. But we'll see exactly where we're going. But that might hurt them more than anything. And then last but not least, Vikings beat the Cowboys. JJ kind of bringing them back to life a little bit, which is, again, for Lions fans should be a little concerning, being as next week we play them, not this upcoming week. We'll see how they play this week. But JJ was 15 for 24, 250, 2 TDs and an interception, got sacked 0 times, and they ran for a total of 77 yards. So not even like a massively good game offensively. Probably was a lot better defensively, if I could actually check, for forced fumbles and TDs and all that, so I can actually see what happened. But there actually not a lot happened, which is surprising. They got I don't know how they got 34 points without probably a bunch of field goals. Yeah, it had to be a bunch of field goals. No, there wasn't even a bunch of field goals. I don't even know how they got the 34 points with the math that I'm looking at. Because they got 4 T JJ did. So yeah, makes more sense. Never mind. I'm crazy. But regardless, not the worst thing. Vikings this week, as my phone is just glitching out for me to get the information. Vikings this week are going to be playing, as it again takes 20 years to load for some reason. I have no idea why. Vikings this week are playing the Giants. Favorable game for them to end up 7-8. Honestly, they could finish above 500 depending on how this year goes. If you went out, I'm only saying honestly because it is a possibility. Not that they will, because after the Giants they play the Lions and the Packers. This might be their last chance for a win again. If not, they technically could be going 8-8 depending on how the Lions play in Minnesota against the Packers to end the year. And honestly, that would probably put the Lions in potentially 4th place in the division, which would be very interesting to see if they're 4th place in the division. Because if they win this week, they'd be 9-6 Lions wise. If you lose to the Vikings, then you're 9-7, and then you have to play the Bears, and you could lose to the Bears and be 9-8 if the Packers win. If the Vikings win out, they would also be 9-8, and somehow you would go from 1st to 4th. Again, you're playing a 4th place schedule. And next year, with the same talented team you had of last year when you're 15-2, could be a kind of an advantage. Not saying that it's a good thing, but it could kind of be an advantage. Packers and Bears play each other this week, which is a big game. I gotta go up to it to see the betting favorites. They play Saturday. They play tomorrow. They're giving Chicago actually a 1.5 advantage, surprisingly. I think it's going to be a close game. It should be a close game. It will be an interesting game overall. Hopefully, it's not that bad of a game. They're actually going to, even though Chicago is favored by 1.5, they're giving the Packers a 59% chance to win this game, which again will be interesting to see. This is a big game inside the NFC North because if the Packers win, then both teams are at 10 wins again, with the Lions potentially winning this week, but put the Lions one game again behind whoever potentially hops into the division lead. If the Bears win, it kind of solidifies them into winning the division in Ben Johnson's first year, which again, how will this translate next year depending on where everyone finishes in the division? Because again, could the Bears handle a first place schedule? They played a fourth place schedule this year. Not to say that they're not good. They just played a lot lesser teams this year. How will that fare next year when you play all the top teams? It's basically what I'm saying. Will it be good? Will it be bad? The Bears have taken care of business a couple times between the Eagles and other teams, but it's just what will happen. And then obviously the Lions is the one team. I did my pregame. That should already be out before this comes out. Playing the Steelers, it's a must win. The last 3 games of the year for the Lions are a must win. But if you lose this game, I'd throw it out, lose out. Who cares? But it will be interesting fully to see what ends up happening. But I'll end it here. If you like what you see, no like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about the Lions, Packers, Bears, whoever, Vikings, wherever you think how this week will go in the rest of the year. And until next time, we'll see everybody